Howdy, hey, it's Presley, not that Presley. And when I was little and had the YouTube channel Act Out Games, I made a lot of STEM related content. STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and math. It was really big to me, like science was specifically. I was super interested in all sorts of fields of science. I made educational content, and I always had this point in my head of how girls, when they hit my age, like 13 to 14, suddenly lose interest in STEM. And that was the worst thing in the world to me as a little kid. And I still think it's pretty depressing. And I was miserable about it. I fought so hard, and I thought all these teenagers are so dumb for giving up on science and the pursuit of knowledge. I'm 14 now. I'm no longer that 7-year-old who was all up in arms about the dumb teenagers. And I have to say, I get it now. I completely understand why teenagers give up STEM. I'm not saying that I'm going to give up STEM. I want to preface it by saying I'm not giving up on STEM. I'm pursuing a science technology degree right now, and I'm more in love with science than I ever have been before. But that doesn't mean that I don't get it, you know? And so I'm here to give you a couple reasons why teenagers like me stop pursuing STEM careers. Number one, I was an above average intelligence child. I hate saying like words like smart or gifted. I don't like any of that. But apparently I was above average intelligence when I was a little kid. And so that meant that when I was younger, I just sort of grasped basic, like, math, STEM concepts, really. I grasped basic science, I grasped basic math. I just kind of grokked it immediately. I got it. I knew what was behind the math and behind the science that made it make sense. And so I understood complicated and above grade level material for a really long time. And so everything was always, like, super easy for me, and I sort of subconsciously taught myself that everything would always be easy from here on out because I understand how, like, the universe works. No. Now that I am attending part-time college and part-time high school, no, that's nothing's gonna be easy for you always, especially if you're a younger kid. Like 3rd grade science, even like 6th grade science when I was in 3rd grade, that was like super cool and subversive. But like that stuff's just not that hard. And once you get into the harder stuff in any field, it starts to challenge you, and it sort of hit me that I don't know how to study for things, because my whole life I've just been able to understand, you know? I've been able to get what stuff means from the second that it was introduced to me. And so now when I'm faced with harder questions and textbooks that I don't understand immediately, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to study. I was never taught how to study. I was never sat down and like given hard work and been like, hey, this is what working hard is like. This is how to study for a test. This is how to get a good grade in a class that you don't immediately understand. None of that is in my brain. I don't know what I'm doing, and that leads to a lot of just feeling like you're dumb, and like you suddenly became stupid, like you were a smart little kid, and now you're dumb. And that's a really bad feeling to get trapped in, and that leads a lot of people to give up STEM. Another thing that sucks about being a quote-unquote smart kid is that you get a lot of attention for being a smart kid. Like, attention galore. If you know a bunch of, like, obscure biology facts or something, people eat that up. And I happen to be someone who needs a lot of attention all the time, and I'm trying to work on that. But still, I need a lot of attention. That's why I make YouTube videos. It's not. I make YouTube videos for funsies. I have 200 subscribers. I'm not getting that attention. But still. I sort of started viewing intelligence as a performance, as something that would get me seen by other people, would get me on their radars, would make them think that I'm really cool and smart and subversive. And so when this performance is based off of being smart and right about a lot of really cool things, being wrong becomes your worst nightmare. Being wrong should never be your worst nightmare. Being wrong is a really, really healthy thing. It means that you're learning, and it's scientifically proven that if you get something wrong and are corrected, you are way more likely to remember that correction than if you had just tried to study it, right? And so being wrong should be something that you relish in, that you love. No, not if being right is everything that you get attention for and you need a lot of attention, and you have this brand of being a smart kid and of showing off how intelligent you are at every corner. Suddenly being wrong becomes the end of the world. Also, this sort of feeds into the whole like kind of Margaret Atwood idea of femininity and being a woman being mostly a performance. It's like performing for an invisible audience of like a male gaze, and you're sort of watching yourself all the time, and you are performing. You're performing always. You're putting on this role, this show for everyone else. And that's just kind of what being a woman is like. And I don't want to rewrite feminist theory. So if you want to get a better idea of what I'm talking about, just read some Margaret Atwood. Do it. I recommend it. It's really great. Get that idea ingrained in your head because I think it's really important. Another thing is that there's not a lot of good, smart, intelligent role models for teenagers, specifically teen girls. An interesting thing is that younger kids, like when I was in like elementary school and stuff, younger kids tend to look up to adults a lot. Younger kids tend to see adults doing cool things and want to grow up to be them. And like their peer group is important to them, but not like super important to them. While teenagers look up to other teenagers. They stop looking up to adults for all of teenagerhood, especially because of, you know, Stick It to the Man, School of Rock, you know, all that kind of stuff. But also just teenagers really, really, really want to fit in, like a lot. They want to be accepted by their peers, and so they look up to other teenagers. A lot of really famous celebrities amongst teenagers are in their mid-teens to early 20s. And that's just because teenagers like to look up to other teenagers. And I cannot name one good teenage science role model for teen girls. I just can't. There's a lot of, like, you know, nerd to princess kind of movies where, like, the nerd becomes, like, this hot, popular girl, and then the jock falls in love with her, and then, like, learns the meaning of being smart or something. I don't know. Those movies are bad. They're not good for teenage girls, and that's all I can think of. Part of this is because there's not a lot of, like, working scientist teenagers. If you're a teenager who's famous for doing their job, your job is being a performer of some kind, which is great. Obviously, I don't mind performers. I am a performer. But there's not a lot of working scientist teenagers. There probably are no working scientist teenagers, which means teens have no one to look up to because there's no teenagers who are working scientists, which is who you want to look up to when you're getting into a scientific field. So it's sort of this conundrum where in order to fit in, you need to be like a regular teen, and there's not a lot of teen role models who are even really into STEM as a whole, just like find it as a fascinating concept, nor are there people to look up to who are really successful in their scientific fields and really love doing what they're doing. And so it's just sort of science stops becoming a thing to look up to as a whole. Being intelligent is like secondary to having a really good singing voice or being really hot or something like that. I was thinking about this and I was trying to find like solutions to the problem. One solution is just having like teen role models who are performers and like just characters on teen shows being super into STEM and not in like the like hashtag adorkable, no, not that, like genuine characters who really like science and find it really cool and fascinating, and maybe that would be some positive representation. Another thing I thought was really interesting is sort of having a teenage Bill Nye. And like I don't mean that Bill Nye is a teenager, but like there's a teenager on Bill. There's two people. There's an accomplished scientist and a teenager, and the teenager can voice scientific concepts to other teens with the help of an accomplished scientist. Sort of like a cool, fun teacher-student dynamic, like a science parent kind of thing. Anyways, if you want to be my science parent, my email is in the description. Email me. Please be my science parent. This is a really cool and good idea, and I should do that. Be my science parent. Please. the last thing is teenagers will rebel against whatever box you put them in. That's teenagers for you. That's what they do. And when you're a little kid and you're a smart girl, you're in that box forever. You are a smart girl. You're a smart girl forever, for your whole school career into high school. You're a smart girl, right? Being smart is a personality trait for guys generally. This is specifically for teenage girls. Being smart is a personality trait for guys. It's cool, it's interesting, but it's not everything that defines them. When you're a smart girl, you're a smart girl. The smart becomes part of who you are intrinsically. You don't have any other personality traits but being smart. And when you're a teenager, you want to rebel against the box that you're put in, no matter what that box is. And it is kind of condescending being a smart girl, and so you want to rebel against that. And what better way to rebel against that than to stop caring about your grades or stop being into science? And teenagers just really, really want to rebel against everything. The school system sucks, and teenagers want to rebel against that. And unfortunately, people for some reason think the best way to rebel against the school system is not to pay attention in school and to get bad grades. No. I received this really wonderful piece of advice from my writing teacher. If you're watching this, I love you. Thank you so much. And that is that if you're young and you're filled with snot and you want to rebel against stuff, take up activism. There are more things to be mad about than ever right now. Our generation is more angry about activism than ever. Take it up in a big way. Start writing petitions, going to protests, and just channel all that rebellious, angry energy into making a change in the world instead of not paying attention to your grades and thinking that science is lame. And if you think the school system sucks, do something about it. Take it to your school board. Petition about it. I believe in you. Did my cat meow in the middle of that? I'm gonna pretend he didn't, and then if he did, I'll make a funny joke about it. So if this isn't just a video about me ranting about how much being a teenager sucks, I'm gonna try and offer some solutions to those problems. Solution number 1 to the problem of not knowing how to learn. And this is for parents. And so if you're a teenager with this problem, like me, sorry, push your kids more when they're younger. And I don't mean tiger parent them. Treat your kid like a person, please. But I mean, if your kid immediately understands the concepts that you're throwing at them, then give them harder concepts, or just concepts that you have to work really hard to understand, so that your children always are studying to achieve higher grades and to achieve good things. Make sure that it's always at a level where they need to study just a bit, and stay at that level consistently. Once they break through that wall, then raise the bar a little higher. Just try and push your kids to do things that they have to study for, so that they're not permanently acing first grade concepts and don't know how to study for anything else, and then once they're in high school or college, they're completely helpless. Solution number 2 to the problem of learning as a performance and being smart as a performance. Reward your kids for hard work, not for being smart. This is an attitude that I want all of you to take. Stop complimenting kids for being really smart. I mean, obviously you can be like, you're really intelligent, that's cool, because kids love compliments. But reward children also for hard work, even if they don't have the right answer. Reward them for working really hard to try and get there. Try and make kids as a whole, like, compliment the next child in your life you see working really, really hard. Start to build positive associations, not just with being intelligent, but with working really hard, so that people will see that also working really hard gets you attention, and then they start working really hard instead of being like me and being a loser who can only be right or else I'll cry. A solution to having no role models. Focus on your peer groups instead of celebrities. Give yourself a good peer group. You guys have no idea how many teenagers I know who hate their friends. Why? Stop being friends with them. Be friends with people who inspire you to be a better person. I recently made a lot of changes in my friend group, and oh my god, I'm so much happier because I have friends who genuinely make me want to be a better person and make me want to be smarter and intelligent and happier, and it's amazing. So if your friends suck and if your friends make you sad, get better friends. They're out there, I promise. And like, don't ever have friends who make you feel like you shouldn't do STEM because it's lame. No. Drop those friends. join the STEM club. Be a loser. We're all losers. It's 2019. Get on it. Make better friends. Be happy with yourself. Please, I cannot stress enough how much a better peer group is going to help you. I made this change like maybe like a month or two ago, and I'm already like such a happier person and such a more passionate person than I was. I was stuck in a total funk about everything learning related, and now I'm a lot happier. So that's really good. Yay, I'm really excited about that. So make better friends. Yeah, kids are gonna rebel, so I can't really give any advice except what I said earlier. Take up activism. Do it. So yeah, I'm still learning and still trying to take this advice for myself. I'm still trying to become a better person at STEM. I fell into a huge lull about it because I just felt really stupid and it wasn't fun. And so I'm trying to get back into learning more seriously and just really enjoying the good things about learning more about the world instead of having it be like kind of a performance thing and like it being my brand to be super smart. I'm trying to break out of all of that. And so obviously the first video I make is about how much it sucks to be smart, but like that aside, I'm still learning, I'm still figuring this stuff out. So I'm just trying to be a positive role model for trying to fix all of these problems within myself and still stay in STEM anyways. Now I see why it's hard for teenage girls, specifically all teenagers, to be in STEM and why there's such a huge drop off of teenage girls in STEM at my age. And I'm trying to break that stereotype, and I'm trying to stay in STEM fields despite the fact that I now see how hard it is. I hope this encourages someone to stay in STEM fields. I hope I reach someone who feels the same way that I do. Just stick with it. It's gonna suck for a little bit, but try and take my advice. Hopefully that helps you guys. I have no idea if it is, but I really hope it does. And just try and be a smarter, better person. Just like learn something new today. Try and make it small. And have fun, above all. If you find learning fun, learn for fun. Just stop doing it for anything. Just do it because you like it and it's interesting and it's fun and it's cool. I was also thinking that if I reach a lot of other people who are experiencing similar problems that are around my age range, we could make like a cool Discord server and hang out and be that peer group I was talking about earlier. I think it would be really nice to talk to some other people who are experiencing similar problems and be able to hang out with some of you guys who saw this video. So be sure to send this to someone. If you have someone who is like a really smart kid in your life, show them this video. Maybe they'll join my Discord server if I make it. Leave interest for that in the comments below, like sort of an interest check. And if there is an interest check, then I'll make a video about it, which means that you should totally subscribe and hit the notification bell if that's still a thing. I don't know. You should subscribe, and so you'll see that video when it comes out if YouTube ever fixes their notifications. Because I might make a Discord server if there's a bunch of you guys who experience similar problems. Also leave a comment down below if you've experienced any of these things, and if you have any advice for me or other people. I'd love to start a dialogue in the comments down below about all this kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking with me. I know this was kind of a long first video, but it's totally fine. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see me make more videos on this channel. I'm going to be bringing you guys a really wide variety of stuff because I'm still experimenting with what kind of content I want to make, and so I thought, why not just make all of it? So you guys will get quite a trip within the next couple of months. So yeah, hit the subscribe button if you want to go on that journey with me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!